Okay, perfect. Well, we are in the ag department at various levels concerning online. Some of our faculty have been doing online classes for quite some time, and they're very proficient in it, so they've been a great help for the rest of us. We have a large variety of classes that we teach and very hands-on classes. So we have to come up with some pretty creative ways of covering that. I'm going to go ahead and just focus on what I am doing at this point, because I will be helping others with some of these more difficult situations. So I'm currently teaching a plant science class with a lab, a food science class with a lab, and a food safety lecture. The food safety classes, the challenge is going to be, this is my first time teaching them ever, so I haven't even taught them face-to-face as of yet. And I've never taught an online course before. I have done online assignments, so I've done it in that format for specific assignments, whether it be labs or just an assignment that I have students turn on online. I've not ever done an entire class before. So I don't consider myself an expert in distance learning. I do know that there are a lot of available resources online, and I have used those, and so I'm going to try to mimic what I have seen work for myself and try to pass it on to my students. The difficulties I see students having, of course, is the lab portions of our class. That's going to be a little bit more difficult to move over. Obviously, connecting to the internet and some of the software access that they may or may not have for our delivery system is going to be another one. So my plan, and I know the plan of our department, is to try to keep technology as simple as possible and focus just on what the students need to eliminate failure and frustration on both of our parts. So I want to focus on course content rather than the technology. I started some online courses last week with just the lecture portion, just to make sure that my students were able to get on, and I will continue doing that. I plan on adding a little bit each week or even each lesson just to make sure it works. We can get a lot more creative as we go. For this weekend, what I am looking at is adding my own narrative, audible narrative, to my PowerPoint so that it would be as if they were sitting in lecture with me. My students are used to me posting a sort of like online lecture or interactive lecture notes. They always print those off and bring them to lecture. I will continue on with those notes. I will post them in assignments so they can go ahead and put their answers and what they learned during the lecture. And I will count that towards attendance. And that way I can do attendance with them. I don't have to go check to see when they logged in. So I think that will be helpful with that. For the labs, there is a variety of ways of teaching the labs. A lot of our publishing companies have given us a lot of virtual labs that go along with the content that we teach, and I have used those, and a lot of them are quite good. There's still some interaction. The students have been able to get on pretty well and in the past, and they actually get to manipulate a lab. So they'll take their mouse, pour something into a beaker. They get to use different variables. They fill in a data table. They do the analysis at the end. And I have found that those work really well. I normally add to those, and I will add a video or some comments or an extra activity for my students to do, but those work out very well. My first choice of labs is for me to do a demonstration, and I am working on that this weekend so that we can do those. a demonstration of me performing the lab. I then can show the students the setup, kind of the results along the way. I can prompt them to pause a video to do a task. They might need to predict something or analyze something. Then they can fill out their data tables, do the analysis section, and then turn it in. So I think that those work out very, very well. YouTube also has a lot of videos we have found to be very good in a lot of the areas that we will be touching on. They're really good for small video clips to show the students the visuals. But overall, I know it's going to be time-consuming in the beginning, but I think that we're just going to need to stay focused and organized. We're all going to need to be a little patient with our students, and I think we can get very creative, and I'm pretty confident that this is going to work out well for all of us.